Hey there, the next fly we're going to tie for delayed harvest is maybe a well-kept Smoky Mountain secret. Yep. And maybe it should have been illegal, but you know, who knows. But what we're going to be tying are going to be two versions of a mop fly. We're going to tie the traditional one and then one that uses the chickaboo or some kind of marabou or some type part of the feather, and instead of a dubbing neck collar. But why don't we go ahead and take a look at the first one that we're going to tie, and we will get tying that fly. So this one here is I guess the original mop fly. Maybe the original didn't even have the dubbing, but basically a bead head on a scud style hook. In this case I'm tying it on a size 8, but we'll cover those when we're going through. This fly, Jim Estes in Bryson City, North Carolina, is credited with coming up with this fly back in the 1990s. And you know, it's interesting. It seems to catch fish. I believe it imitates a crane fly, crane larva fly. But I've also been told that it could imitate a lime green sourwood worm, you know, a catawba worm, that are in bags or in nests hanging over the water, and then they fall out occasionally and the fish just gobble them up. So this fly would be not only great for trout, but catawba worms are also good bait fish for panfish and things like that. So why don't we go ahead and get going and tie, and we'll take this one off of there. On that part. I'm going to be using a Sabre 7051 size 8. It's a shrimp caddis pupa hook, curved hook. And to put a bead on there, you're going to have to smash on that hook, you're going to have to smash the barb to get it around. And we're going to be using a Cyclops bead eye 3/16 in black, and we'll put the little hole so that it's butts up against the eye of the hook. And we're going to go ahead and put that in. And the thread I'm going to use is going to be chartreuse, a 210, and we'll just get that started here behind the bead and I'm only going to go to about maybe where the point of the hook is. I mean, you're not tying in a lot of material. It's a pretty quick tie. And my material, I'm going to be using one of these Swiffer things. You see there's a lot of flies. A lot of mop flies that you can come off of there. If you don't want to buy that, you can buy from Lively Legs. They have a bag of mops. They come in, there's mop chenille, it's one continuous form. You'd cut it off and then do a little glue job on the end of it so it doesn't unravel on both ends. Some panfish places have short trews. You can get a lot of different colors, and I would try to tie them in several colors. You never know what might work, but this one here we're going to tie in short trews, and this is the end here. This is kind of glued or whatever. It won't come undone, but what we're going to do is we're going to strip some of these off, so you can see that right there, until we get the threads exposed. Right about there, and then I'm going to butt that right up against the bead. And then for this one here, I'm going to use some ice dub and peacock to fill in that area there. I'm going to apply some wax. And I'm just going to take some out and make a noodle. And we're gonna want this noodle, when we wrap it around there, about the diameter of the bead or a little bit bigger. Put a little bit more on there because I'm not quite where the bead's at, or maybe I just want it a little bit bigger, thicker. And then I'm going to add a little bit of cement there. In the thread. And give it a whip finish. Give it another turn. And then we're going to make it a little buggier here. We're going to And there we have it. Just a generic, the basic mop fly. We'll go ahead and I'll show you the next one we'll tie. In this case, we're going to tie one. This is kind of like the fluff from the chickaboo or whatever it is from the base of the feathers, and we're going to use a dummy loop to get that on there. But let me go ahead and get going, and I'll explain those materials as I go along. Again, we're going to use the same hook. I'm going to debarb that. And get a same size bead to put on there. We're going to tie this one in cream, as you saw. And lively log legs call that their crane fly color. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use tan. Now this fly is going to be a little bit more complicated, believe it or not. And again, as you can see, this part's not falling apart. That's the end that's glued shut together. And we're going to just find our thread that holds this together. And yeah, I think you can see them right there maybe. And we're going to go ahead and tie that in. And we're going to create a dubbing loop. Basically, take out some line, wrap the thread around your finger, and we'll move that forward. Take my dubbing loop tool there, and I'm going to use some ringneck rump patch in natural colors. And I'm going to kind of look back here, and I'm going to want something like where these marabou here are, like this. Like that. And I'm going to put it in a foam block, kind of fold the fibers down. I'm going to take a clip and collect that. And I got that somewhat collected, and pull that stem out a little bit, and then I'm just going to put that into that thread. Might have to do this a couple times to fill in that gap. Well, that didn't quite work. Let me just pause that for a minute. Alright, we'll try this again. Kind of scoot it up a little bit. And then we'll put our finger here and twist that bobbin. And you can see that when I let go of the Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and palmer that around. And like I said, I might have to add more if it's not enough. A little bit too much that time, but that's all right. Got it in there. And we'll add a little glue to that on the thread. Oh, quick whip finish. And there you have it. That's a mop fly with a collar of feathers. That should give a lot of motion, movement. Probably looks more like a crane fly. While I've tied this up for primarily for delayed harvest, good time to try it. Maybe even when it's not delayed harvest, well, anytime that they're planting stocked fish from a hatchery, or since it does supposedly imitate a the mop fly could imitate a catawba worm. Either one of these two patterns, you know, would be great for brim, bluegill. Anyway, give it a try. We'll see on the water, and I think I've got a couple more flies left for the late harvest on there, and we'll see you on the water. All right, bye.